welcome to No Enemies Here, the show where you get your news on everything wargame related except probably minis and a lot of wargame stuff. But some reviews from the people I know, people I don't know, and all the truth. Look, if there's people I am missing, please send me links and all that. I look at all the links, and probably 100% of the time, anybody who sent me a link concerning a channel, I have used it. There's no reason for me not to use the link if it's concerning war games. You know what I'm trying to say? So today is Remembrance Day, as we call it here in Canada. It's November 11th. The show is being filmed November 11th, but you're getting it November 12th. Nevertheless, it's very close, and I'd like to pay tribute to the people who kept us here. Right? So in the house today, we have David, the baby maker. We also have Wojennik, and we have the ultra busy, ever so busy KilRoyWasHere. He's in the house. Also, we got a couple of other different videos. Check out the Pico Armor video. They're a company that makes like these super tiny armor replicas, and they do a playthrough of Panzer Blitz. Check it out. It's part of the RockCon thing, which is really cool. I wish I could go. It looks like my type of wargaming event, you know, loosey-goosey, you know what I'm trying to say. Other than that, that's the news. Yeah, there's nothing really more to say. Everything's good. As I said, Remembrance Day. And as the show began, I put it, I did a little montage. And I wanted to start, you know how the show starts? And all that stuff. I wanted to remove the music, but you know, it was 1 minute. 1 minute exactly. And the piece of music is 1 minute exactly, and it fits well. And I like the montage. I hope you did. And with that said, have a great show. And let me know any of your queries in the comments below. Have a good one. We start off the show with Smart War Games, where there are 8 videos this week. Panzer Corps 2 Axis Operations 1944 on Steam. This is more of a video game type channel, if I'm not mistaken. Also, Unknown Soldiers, the Finnish mod. Combat Mission Red Thunder, Ukraine War Goes World War III, and Battle of Izium, Ukraine War, an AIO mod? I don't know what that is, but Combat Mission Black Sea. Also, War in the East 2, Steel Inferno, and Borodino 1977. Man, this guy's all over the place. By Sturm und Drang, German hex strategy game. Also Battle of Kharkov and Festung Budapest, Hungary mode. This is a premiere, and you should be able to watch this now that the premiere has happened. Indy Nidel's channel, World War II, 4 videos this week. Inside the Gulag system, this is a World War II special. And Allies launch new phase in Pacific War, World War II, November 5th, 1943. Also, a new episode on Death in Poland, 6th of November, 1943. This is the final bloody chapter of Operation Reinhard. What a scumbag. War against humanity. And again, War Against Humanity, because they have different type of segments here. They have the news, and then they have behind the news. What didn't make the news. Obviously, it made the news, but it's an addendum. And it's the Auschwitz business model. Seriously? That's what it is on Indy Nidel's World War II channel. On ID Jester, 8 videos, Ascension, Gift of the Elements, solo mode, also Brass, Birmingham with Lower Slower Board Gamer, that's his name, that's his handle, plus a live unboxing of Talisman, the Dragon expansion, and a live unboxing of Spectre, the board game, 60 Years of James Bond edition, plus Metal Dawn, a Kickstarter Tech War Dream live unboxing, and again a live unboxing of Key to the City London by R&D Games, plus another live unboxing of God of War, the card game by Come On. Look, God of War, I think, is an award-winning video game with Kratos as the protagonist. In 1960, The Making of the President solo gameplay. The Making of the President, is that a Gene Billingsley design, GMT kind of thing? And KilRoyWasHere, 2 episodes, Sci-Fi Fantasy Saturday, trekking through history, Underdog, and Coffee with Kilroy, my favorite segment of his channel, Play the Italian Wars of Independence by Soldier Shop. Also, don't forget to check out Kilroy's segment, For No Enemies Here. On Tony's Board Life, Tony does 2 videos of Bitter Harvest, turns 6, and the renewal, the finale, on Tony's Board Life. I checked the video he was doing. He was playing Command and Colors Ancients with his daughter, and I think he got shellacked. Or, yeah, whatever, he got shellacked. And the man who looks like a vampire, Mark Felton of Mark Felton Productions, has 4 videos out this week. Dr. Felton has been busy. How to ... destroy a Japanese tank. Don't you just use a pea shooter? Joking. The 1953 Battle of Berlin is another video, and Hitler's STG-44 in post-war service. This was, I think, the first metal stamped machine gun, and it was a what do they call those machine guns? A urban machine gun. I don't know what they call it, but anyways. And also, the last video was FT-17, the World War I tank used until the 1980s. I gotta watch that. I haven't. That's a good one to watch. Legendary Tactics. Love this channel. 4 videos. Combat Commander Pacific, a reboxing component overview. Also, Panzer Blitz Situation 2 playthrough, example of gameplay, an old Avalon Hill game, probably the game that started it all. Other than tactics, but the new wave. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it had a lot to do with the game cover. And the game cover art. And talking about art, don't forget to check out the CSRs, eh? The CSRs. There's a lot of voting happening here. A lot of people voting. It's a great thing. Also, Deserted Island board game hypothetical. What 5 games do you take? What 5 games? Well, you're not going to take a 3-player game. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a 2-player game, but I better have chit pool. And the Zombie Apocalypse board game hypothetical. What game do you choose on a Legendary Tactics, which is a fantastic channel, and sometimes I bug them for videos and put them on because they are exceptional. Artie of ARDWULF'S LAIR, 2 videos out, counter clipping, pre-order rundown, GMT games, and in conversation, La Bataille with Eric Holmgren. And don't forget, GMT is having a shellacking of a sale, a 50% sale, which if this year you ordered anything on the P500, if you ordered one P500 game, you're allowed 1 game at 50% off. If you order 2, you're allowed 2, and so on. You get my drift? All this on GMT. Go check out the GMT website. 50%, that's a good deal. Cody of the Discriminating Gamer has 3 videos out. G.I. Joe deck building game Shadow of the Serpent, and Angel Fury, plus Tapestry. You know what, I heard a lot about that Euro game, and I heard it was good. And Mo of Mo's Game Table has 2 videos this week. Old School Tactical Volume 3 Pacific 1941 to 45 from Flying Pig Games. This is a game probably designed by Shane Logan. I'm just saying, I don't have it. And on his Learn to Play segment 18th segment, Kharkov German Solo from Enemy Action Kharkov, a John Butterfield game. Respect Jim Ozarski, 4 videos. He's on a tear. Must be on vacation. Exploiting the Gap for Chain of Command. Also Operation Neptune for Rommel. I was there. That's part 2. Same thing, A Roaring Start, part 3 for Spearhead. I thought it was Operation Neptune, but a second probe at Badomouin for Chain of Command. These are all World War II games. You don't often see Jim Ozarski showcasing World War II games. He's a Napoleonic guy. Here's a new guy for you, Denis Davidov, right? Not Davidoff. Davidoff is the tobacco magnate, but this is David Davidov, a Ukrainian pilot, if I'm not mistaken, has 4 videos, and every day he comes out with a video on the situation in Ukraine. He's Ukrainian, so he gives us, what am I gonna say? I guess the straight dope, but the straight dope biased on the Ukraine side. But you know what I mean? The Russians, Putin. Personally, for me, it's not happening. You know what I mean? So he's got updates like Russia is losing 20,000 soldiers. Update from Ukraine, 800 mobilized soldiers, Russia. So I don't know if these numbers are real, but nevertheless, there's some news, whether it's biased or not, on what's happening in Ukraine. Meandering Mike. Man, he's happening here with 12 videos. The guy's losing it, man. So Meandering Mike is doing a game giveaway. You can win Mike's man cave. Mike, I'm gonna win your man cave. Come on. Also unboxing Maori. Compass Games in Mike's man cave. Oh no, I get it now. You can win. Then he puts Mike's man cave. So that's his as in music we would call it his coda. Also Maharaj turned 15. And also, he's doing a lot of 2 videos on Maharaj. He's also unboxing Joust, an arcade game. I used to play Joust. Never really did well in it because I just wanted the Flappy Bird thing to fly. But anyways, he's doing another game giveaway. He's celebrating 100 subscribers. He had like 20 last week. You know what? Congratulations there, viewers. I'm happy you're supporting our showcasers, our reviewers, our playthroughers, and that this is what this channel is all about. It's family, you know what I mean? Come on. He's also unboxing Rogue Heir of Elethorn, a Hero Quest. And he does GMT's Genesis. This is a Richard Berg game, so he's doing rules recap and start of play. Also, celebrating 50 plus subscribers. This, see what I mean? This was a day ago. I don't know what's going on. Continues with Genesis, and then he shows you a jet black bunny eating dandelions at 2 in the morning. Mike, does your mom know where you are at 2 in the morning? For God's sakes, man. The Hugh Hefner of War Games. Wardy Road plays World War II, has 4 videos out. Fighting Formation Kharkov Scenario 11, Turn 3, these are the highlights. And a After Action Report, Turn 4 of Fighting Formation Scenario 11. Fighting Formation Scenario 11 Game End After Action Report, and whoops on Scenario 11 Fighting Formation. So I guess he must have missed a rule. I was perusing the net and I came upon Wardy Robe's live playthrough at the end, unfortunately, and I have that game. Never played it. Mea culpa. And I asked him, is the game fairly complex? And he says, no, it's fairly easy. And also with the Matrix, because Chad Jensen created a Matrix, who goes first type thing, you know, so many points you use, well, you're going down on the list of who goes first. Look, to me it looks super interesting. Nepotism. On the Fokker Circus, my Pipe News channel, I showcase a coin tobacco. Now, what is a coin tobacco? You know what I mean? Go check it out. Fun. And if you check it out, subscribe. I don't change character. I'm the same here as I am over there. What can I say? Dad versus son. I mean, is this guy kidding me? He's got 16 videos out. All on Dad's Dodgy Dozen. I was one of the sergeants there, and I'm dead. I'm dead. He killed me. So he's actually playing The Search for Helga von Monobrow. Monobrow. You get it? Monobrow. And, look, he's putting a lot of time into this. Each video is approximately half an hour. Should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of people dying. You know what I'm saying? What's fun if people don't die in a war game? On Lock and Load Publishing, Heroes of the Bitter, a production video. So this is behind the scenes, probably in China, showing you what's going on, which I think is ultra cool. Ultra. My favorite Frenchie, Fred Serval, von Meinstein's Triumph. Teach and play with designer Francisco Ronco. Hey, is he Italian? Is he Spanish? Francisco Ronco, I'm saying he's Spanish. You know what I'm saying? And he's on the show with another guest whom he names as Brendan. And you know what? This guy has 4,150 subscribers. That's just fantastic. That's just fantastic. 6 Actual with Scream, Aim, Horror, and Unbagging. This is a game by Jay Kirkpatrick and designed by the wonderful Ilya Kudryashov. And I should have her on, man. You know what I mean? We see the name all over the place, and we don't know. Please remind me to have Ilya Kudryashov on an interview. By the way, did you check out the interview with Stigler on everything you wanted to know about war games but were afraid to ask? Check out my channel. It's there. Stigler was a mensch. And the man who goes by the name of, excuse me, Jeff, is doing DVG's Spruance Leader, the Cold War Fleet Combat Solitaire strategy game. Cold War? I thought this was a World War II thing. Well, look at that. This is a playthrough part 1 and introduction on the man who calls himself Jeff. Take it easy, watch a movie, watch a horror, go to Horror Central with the Scream-a-thon, and you can watch a movie called Faye. It's a full monster horror movie, or Monsters of War, or Amityville Cult, or I Need You Dead. Come on. Come on. On History Hustle, wonderful channel, Dutchman. Independent Macedonia, 1944, the German puppet state to withdraw from ... This guy's got 130,000 subscribers. He's doing something right. He's doing something interesting. On My Own Worst Enemy, CSA, America's Civil War, Turn 2, Part 1. This is a Counter-Strike minigame. Huh? Storm of Steel Wargaming, 3 videos out, painting old wood. Also, Bench Report channel update. That's the Storm of Steel Wargaming channel update. And Through the Mud and the Blood Rules review on Storm of Steel Wargaming. Look at all the variety you have here. GG of the Geek Gamers has 2 videos out, 1 Deck of Many Dungeons, and 2 Geek Games, and Beyond Solitaire, talk solo RPG board games, and more. Oh, she was on, my God, what's her name? Liz Davidson's channel, Beyond Solitaire. We'll showcase that probably later. Little Wars TV is recapping Fallen, the 2022 show, and it's miniatures, and it just looks great. It looks like a lot of fun on Little Wars TV. The Oaken Night, the PBS of Wargame News channel reviewers. Shiloh, April 6th, playthrough part 2, a game by Worthington Publishing, which are putting out just lots of good games. Lots of good games. The Chief and Bonding with Board Games and RPGs is doing a ENI Shamanic Clinician number 4 Mentor Part 1 free copy giveaway on Bonding with Board Games and RPGs. Diagonal Move has 2 videos out, Hill of Death, Shattered Union, a print and play component overview, and also another video called Anti-Cat Wargame Defense, a simple way to stop your cat trashing your game. Is this an issue? Well, yes it is. For our Spanish viewers, Agricola, Master of Britain, on Julius Fairfax channel. This is a game published by HOLLANDSPIELE. Stigler, see I'm saying it right? Get away from me. On Hexed and Countered channel, 4 videos out. Spruance Leader, I should say 3 videos out of the 4 are Spruance Leader. There's a first look, a base game part 1, and a base game part 2. And he does War in the East. Gary Grisby's War in the East. Steel Infernal download, the downloadable content. So DLC. I'm privy to all these acronyms. Come here to learn your acronyms. Zilla Blitz is on a tour of Texas or Bust, American Truck Simulator Career Episode 70. And Empire of the Sun unboxing and Cube for Me review by GMT Games. Yes, I don't know what Cube for Me is. Also, Tank Clash Western Front unboxing. Tank Clash. by Amoeba, A-M-E-B-A, Amoeba Games. This is a war game historical. It's a historical war game. And I like the drawings. It looks like fun. And he goes back to trucking. ETS2 Grand Tour achievement at last, he says, by Euro Truck Simulator. I gotta do some of this. What is it? You get on the road and, you know, capiche. World War II Solitaire Board Game Channel, 12 videos. The Hunters. There's two videos of The Hunters. This is a playthrough from the C3I expansion, episode 7 and episode 21. Also, 3 videos of Patton's Best, episodes 20, 21, and obviously 22, and a playthrough of B17, Queen of the Skies. And if you have never seen STUKAJOE's Queen of the Skies playthrough drama, I suggest you do so. Also, Freezing Inferno, a Kickstarter prototype unboxing, and Company of Heroes, a 2-player set, an unboxing. Also, Mike Lambo's game, Lone Sherman. God, I gotta get it. I'm spending money. I don't have money. A Solitaire war game preview and an unboxing of Gregory Smith's game, American Tank Ace, 1944, 1945, and I forgot, Sniper Elite, David Thompson's game, Sniper Elite Eagle's Nest, and Sniper Elite Deluxe Upgrade Kit. Look, you have to have an upgrade kit when you have a game. George Hiotis, 2 videos out. Canadian Inflation, homegrown or global. And Advanced Squad Leader Scenario 4, Welcome Back, Parts 1 of 3. Juste Garde, 2 videos out. BorisCon 2022, a CNC Ancients, The God Kings, John Company, Warsaw 1920. Also, a new arrival on his channel of Fire and Stone. Siege of Vienna 1683. All that on Juste Garde. The Nerd Workshop, GMT Games, Empire of the Sun box opening. Also, 5 games I like and why I purchased them. Volume 3 on The Nerd Workshop.
The capture of North Korea seemed all but assured until China entered the Korean War. This week on Seek Out and Play, we cover the Chinese forces in Warfighter World War II Expansion number 28, a video that includes the soldiers, their weapons, 6 skills, and a nation skill, the missions, objectives, and hostiles that make up the Chinese forces. Plus, you can watch videos on other Warfighter expansions that cover the conflict, all here on Seek Out and Play. And I'll see you next Wednesday.
Patrick's Tactics and Tutorials, Grant Takes Command 2, Scenario number 1 of the Battle of the Wilderness on The Union Strikes South, on to Richmond 2, a Great Battles of the American Civil War games, published by MMP. 3-Minute Board Games has 2 videos. Alien Fate of the Nostromo in 3 minutes, and the top 100 games of all time, but not in 3 minutes, in 51 minutes. But that should be interesting. But that's his opinion, which is still interesting. And don't forget, he's designing a coin game, not Red Alert, but I forget, it's a GMT, it's on the P500. It's a space coin game, for lack of better words. On the big board, Caucasus Burning. This is a game from Ya magazine, the Nagorno-Karabakh War 2022. So, Nagorno-Karabakh War. So, this is a no-holds-barred war and strategy gaming magazine by Flying Pig Games. Yeah! What can I tell you? On Combat Board Games, reviewing Bomb Run, a game designed by Chad Rigg. This is a small little game. Looks cool. Reminds me of a game I have here that I don't have here right now. I forget what it's called, but it's cool. I like little stupid games. Sergeant Joe Clifford Faust, vlog number 5, Danny's game. That's 16 minutes of gaming goodness on Joe Clifford's Faust's channel. Box of Delights. Used to love watching Box of Delights. Legends Untold Deep Sorrow. This is the Illumination of Deep Sorrow novice set. Watch it. He does good videos. Lots of good stuff. Great music too. On Beyond Solitaire. Beth LaPense on games with social impact. Right. And 2022 People's Choice Top 200 Solo Games. Part 1. 101 of 200. Also, Hadrian's Wall, a game review. All this on Liz Davidson's Beyond Solitaire channel.
Black Chain.
everyone, this is Michel Leviathan-Selbert from the Polish YouTube channel Wojennik TV. Here is, as always, my very quick roundup of the content published on Wojennik TV during the last 7 days. Last Sunday I released yet another top 3 video in which I spoke about my top 3 games of the previous month, so of October. In this list I included Seafall, which obviously is not a war game, but I also spoke about La Belle Époque, a game released by Aleph Game Studio, which is a wargame-ish game, a game which is focused on the La Belle Époque period, so on the late 19th and early 20th century. This is a game in which we take control of one of the 4 powers of the period, of the British Empire, of the French Empire, of the Russians, or of the Central Powers composed of Germany and Austro-Hungary. Our objective is to become the most prestigious nation. Our objective is to control the most possible number of colonies, to establish the biggest possible number of alliances, and to become the major power before the First World War erupts. Very entertaining game. I already played it several months ago. Now I returned to it and it was really a blast. But my top game of the previous month was also the game which was the topic of my Thursday's review, because I released also a second video which was wargaming related during the last 7 days, and this was the Thursday review of Raider 16 Atlantis. Raider 16 Atlantis is a game which I have already spoken about during one of my roundups, because I presented a playthrough of the game earlier. Now it was the Polish review. An English one will soon follow. Raider 16 is a game focused on the German Hilfskreuzers during the Second World War, so on the auxiliary cruisers, which were meant to hunt down and destroy Allied cargo ships. And it is focused on the story of Atlantis, one of the most successful German raiders of World War II, although we can also take control of the Cormoran or Thor raiders during the game. During the game we will be trying to, as I said earlier, hunt down and destroy enemy cargo ships, but also we will try to avoid Royal Navy forces which will be sent to the Atlantic and to the Indian Ocean in order to track down and sink our vessel. A very entertaining solitaire game, a print and play game designed by Bruce Mansfield more than 10 years ago, published on Board Game Geek. Then the files were removed from BGG because the game was meant to be published by one of the publishers. Finally the game didn't appear, and as far as I know, Bruce wants to re-upload the files to Board Game Geek so that more people could enjoy his design. So those were the 2 wargaming related videos which I published during the last 7 days on my channel. As always, I wish you an excellent weekend, have a great gaming, and see you next time.
Hi, this is Greg from Pico Armor. We just finished our first presentation of our 3D Panzerblitz game at RockCon. Our goal for this project was to create an introductory game that would be visually appealing, which could be run at conventions so new players to wargaming could try a game and have a fun time. We got the map and scenario from the Imaginative Strategist website. We made a few modifications to the scenario to include a few more units. The scenario is set during the invasion of Romania in May of 1944. The Russian 5th Guards tank army spearheaded the assault with several tank corps to punch through the German Army Group Wohler's 57th Panzer Corps, only to encounter the battered but still elite Panzer Grenadier Division Großdeutschland. Elements of the Russian 3rd Guard Tank Corps, including the 3rd Guard's Tank Brigade, the 186th Tank Brigade, the 2nd Guard's Motorized Rifle Brigade, plus the 14th Guard's Heavy Tank Regiment, come in from the east edge of the board. These forces are composed of T-34C, T-3485, and Su-100 armor units. Coming in from the west side of the map, elements of the 2nd and 3rd Battalions of Panzer Regiment Großdeutschland, 1st Battalion Panzer Regiment 26, and the 1st Battalion Panzer Fusilier Regiment Großdeutschland. These forces include Panzer IV-H Panthers and Tiger I armored units. We made 2 changes to the base Panzer Blitz rules. Instead of the set turn sequence of Germans going first and Russians second, we added an initiative roll. The high roller goes first. That added a nice bit of randomness to the gameplay. The second change involved spotting in woods and town hexes. The normal rules state that in order to spot a unit in a woods or town hex, you must have a unit adjacent to the hex. Our rule change states that if a unit fires out of a town or wood hex, they are spotted for the turn. That played really well. We played 6 games throughout the weekend with an even result, 3 German wins and 3 Russian wins. The games lasted from 45 minutes to about 2 hours, so we were able to have a couple of groups of players play twice and switch sides. Everyone had a great time. We are looking forward to taking the game on the road in 2023. We have had a number of requests to do a 3D game version of Panzer Leader and the original Squad Leader, so we are considering that. Let us know in the comments your thoughts or ideas of what you might like to see turned into a 3D game. Also, if you have any suggestions for a con or game store near you that we might be able to set up a game, let us know. Locations in the Midwest are easiest for us since we are located in the southern Wisconsin, northern Illinois region, but we are open to the possibility of traveling to any locations.
Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Centurion's Review. My voice is going. I've got a bad cold. But this week we created 4 videos. The first video was a walkthrough of the RockCon 2022 convention in Rockford, Illinois. RockCon has a ton of different miniature war games and board games. There is also a dealer's area and a silent auction. This year I only got to go Saturday, but still had a great time. Second, we did a first look at Caesar XL from Victory Point Games. It's a micro game where Caesar crosses the Rubicon and battles Pompey for the Roman Empire. I played it solo and it was good, but I'm sure it'll be better when I finally get to play it with 2 players. Third, we did a blast from the past of AD&D's Fiend Folio. This supplement was designed in Britain and includes monsters not in the monster manual and from various authors. Last, we did a first look at Pacific Fury Guadalcanal 1942. This game uses an area map and has a very small rule set. It was designed in Japan and has been sold by several different manufacturers. This particular one was published by Revolution Games. That's all I've got. My Battle of Zama video game has been delivered to all the Kickstarter backers and is now available on itch.io for sale. I've put the link on the screen. Thanks for watching and have a good day.
Cataclysm now has 2 videos out unboxing Stalingrad Pocket 2 from MMP and Skies Above the Reich, a game by Jeremy M. White, and if I'm not mistaken, Gina Willis. God, I'm sorry, Gina, if I screwed up your last name. On Tanks Zone, Big Gun, Big Danger, KPZ 70, Armored Warfare. So Tank Zone with Mario Vegas. Check it out. Could be lots of fun. Mike Lambo Solitaire Book Games. Lone Sherman AI Turn Action. I gotta get it. I gotta get it. I gotta get it. That's all. I gotta get it. If not, Mike, send me a game, please, huh? I'll feature it here. Come on, I'm good for it. Renegade Game Studios has 8 videos out, and all of these games are on the 12 days of gaming. Day 2, day 3, up to day 8, and they play like a shellacking's worth of games, which includes G.I. Joe card game. Yeah, they have 10,000 subscribers, you know, so they're doing something interesting. On Fennyrob, 3 videos out: City Builder, Ancient World board game, plus Wits and Wagers, and First Rat board game. I don't know. He had war games before, but now he doesn't. But nevertheless, on Christopher Prest, my paisan from the south, 12 videos out, live streaming, also Der Weltkrieg, also a quick comparison between the Tannenberg, Galicia, and Gorlice Tannenrow, or a Tarnawo. Sorry, Christopher. But he's on a Der Weltkrieg tear, which, as you see, he's wearing gloves with no fingers because it's cold here in Canada. He's on a World War I mission. LBW Strategy Gaming is doing number 8 Wacht Rhein by Decision Games solo, December 16th a.m. German ground assault phase. Talk about detailed. Bill Thornton has 2 videos out: Gaming Marathon Day, Gamers Helping Children. Nice, Bill. And Inside the Crease, 2007 playoff, round 1, game 1, Atlanta and New York Rangers. Hey, some of these wargamers they're pulling an ID Jester, you know what I mean? You know, variety is the spice of life. On War Stories, 2 videos out: How the Allies Hunting Down U-Boat Wolfpacks, and a Vimy Memorial, the monument to Canada's most brutal conflict. U-Boater 658 has 4 videos out: Traveler, Companion, Episode 13, Building an Alien Empire, and the OSG Napoleon invades Spain, La Coruna, 6 p.m. British time. Avalanche Press's Island of Death unboxing, and OSG Napoleon invades Spain. French Last Turn. All this on U-Boater 658. On the Tabletop's Edge, combined DoD WIFCE campaign playthrough number 3, January to February 1936. This is a World in Flames. World in Flames. That's what it is. Holy moly, this is just huge, man. My God. Some people really got guts. Sean Moran, Gaming with the Colonel, a Canadian colonel, is looking at Crusader Rex. If I'm not mistaken, this is a Columbia Games game, which are a Canadian publisher from the Dalglish family. Hard to get in touch with. On Dave's Gaming Cave, 4 videos. 3 of them I should say, are on Fields of Fire Bulge campaign, mission number 1, and the Maori Open the Box. So it's Warriors of the Long White Cloud. From Compass Games, actually. I thought it was a White Dog game, but no, it's not. On the Board Game Chronicles, 2 videos out. First look at the Guadalcanal Solitaire, an original book game. This is a Worthington publishing game, and also Storage Solutions in Command and Colors Ancients on the Board Game Chronicles. Kings and Generals, great channel, 4 videos. Cromwell crowning victory, Battle of Naseby, it's the English Civil War. Also, Naval Battle of Guadalcanal. This is number 51 on his Pacific War documentary. Also, Sack of Rome 1527, Italian Wars documentary, and Was Genghis a Chinese Mercenary? Mongol history documentary.
Hello all! Today, Kilroy goes off the shelf on gateway games. Now, what do I mean by gateway games? Well, that's a term that's traditionally or typically used in the Euro or general hobby board gaming industry about a game that ushers you into the hobby. It's something that converts you over, brings you over from, card games or video games into the general board gaming hobby. What I'm talking about is games that bring you into the wargaming hobby. Games like, Stratego, played that when I was a kid. Risk, played a whole lot of Risk before, I started playing Panzerblitz and Panzerleader, a little bit heavier war games. Axis and Allies. Now, what are the key common features of these kind of games? Well, they're relatively simple. They're not overly complex, but they give you a taste. They give you a taste of what a war game might be. With Axis and Allies, you've got the minis, and a little bit of a toy factor, and that also kind of plays into a potentially good gateway game as well. You might want to go into something like, Wings of War, that has the nice miniatures that give you a little bit of a toy factor, because you've got these cool little minis in a relatively simple game to play. But it's engaging. It brings you into that world and what a war game might, what wargaming might be all about. So there is a certain amount of toy factor that might play into this, that to introduce you into the topic. And along with that is the topic. If you have a friend that is, has zero interest in ancient warfare or medieval warfare, well, then don't start out with an ancient or medieval warfare game. You might even be able to get a little bit more of a complex game into the play if they're interested in the topic. If they're really interested in World War II, then you don't have to start out with the most basic World War II. They're going to be interested, and they might find the time to get into it. Another good gateway game or gateway system might be the command and color system. This one, it has a little bit of toy factor as well because it's got little plastic soldiers, but there's several different command and colors systems that, don't necessarily use the little plastic soldiers. They use blocks and the like. And so, this is a relatively good entry game into wargaming in that, there's battles, it recreates battles, it gives you a little bit of aspect of command, it's not overly complex, and it's engaging, so this is a good gateway game. And it's a whole series or system, and that's something to keep in mind as well. That's another good factor of a gateway game is, introduce them into a system. Here's the SES system. And there's a lot of different titles in this. Now, this is a little bit crunchier than Command and Colors, but the system overall is not that complex. And it gives you all the aspects of hex and counters and combat results tables and really get you into the general flow of wargaming is a good series or system. You might actually look at, solo games. Solo games are actually, might be a pretty good way of getting people into gaming. You have there's a Hunter series. DBG has a whole line of solo games. Worthington is getting into solo games. So, solo games might be a way to get people in. But again, trying to get somebody in is you want to play against them. You want to teach them the game. And that's how I got into wargaming. Someone taught me, Panzer Blitz and then Squad Leader way back in the day. And that's how I learned to play war games. And that's how I got interested in war game, was a good teacher and a good mentor. And that's going to go a long way into the hobby. Getting into it on your own is going to take a lot more initiative. And it's kind of hard to teach someone a solo game because it's a solo game. Another aspect that's kind of new to, gateway into wargaming is crossover games. There's games like Undaunted that really use a lot of mechanics that live in the Euro space and live in, general hobby gaming, but they're converting it over into the war game world. And so this might be a way, if you've got someone who's already a hobby gamer, you might be able to get them into wargaming through one of these crossover games. But a game that I really kind of want to talk about as a potential gateway game that kind of shows some of these factors of, simplicity, an engaging topic, and introduces you to some of the basic concepts of, wargaming, is in the series, the French and Indian War, Bloody Mohawk, and Savage Wilderness. These were produced by Lock and Load. The designer of these two games has now kind of broken off from Lock and Load, is making his startup as kind of his own game company, and he's redoing these and some other games in this aspect. But one of the reasons why I really liked these when I first got a hold of these and saw these as really great gateway games is they're very simple. Now, if your friend or whoever you're trying to get involved in wargaming or introduce them to wargaming, if they're not interested in the French and Indian War, which is not the hottest topic out there, it's not World War II or Napoleonic or American Civil War, the big three, but it is a very interesting topic, and it's something that I'm interested in it because I didn't know as much about it as I probably should have, and kind of skipped that topic a lot of times in history, and it's a very interesting period of time. But one of the things I really like about this series these type of games is they're really simple. I mean, it teaches you the basic aspects of the factors on a combat counter, terrain. There's not a ton of different terrain. The combat rules are relatively straightforward and simple. And that's it. I mean, basically this whole game here is 7 pages, right? And that's dual-sided and big ink, big print. So you've got less than 7 pages, you've got scenarios, and you've got small maps. So these are small engagements. You're only having, anywhere from 4, 5, or 10 at most, maybe 11 different counters on the board. I mean, and the counters are nice and big, and I think in the new edition that he's coming out with is even bigger. But there's not a lot of factors on the counters, but you've got your counters, you've got your hexes, and you've got a relatively simple combat system. And it has multiple scenarios, so you can play. There's a lot of replayability. There's a lot of developing and taking on more complicated scenarios over time and learning a little bit more about wargaming. And so, as I said, there's a lot of different scenarios here, and the map boards are very, they're very self-contained. They're very small. They're limited. You've got a few counters. You can play it, and it's not going to take hours. These games like this scenario right here is going to take you, maybe 30 minutes. Probably less than that, right? And that's with teaching the rules and understanding the game system. So, this to me is when I first picked this up a while back from Lock and Load. I said, this is an excellent gateway game. I mean, this is something I've used with my kids. Again, you are limited by the topic, because I think that's a very important factor of any gateway game is finding the right topic. And you can increase the complexity of introducing someone to a new game if you've got the right topic, because there'll be the interest there. And if you have the wrong topic, you can have the simplest game in the world, and it might not stick. So anyway, these are very, in my opinion, very good gateway games into the hobby. And as I said, the designer of these games, it's Bill Molyneux. And he's a reenactor. He does a lot of reenactment of the French and Indian War and gets into character. So, he's actually living some of these games. And so he really knows his topic. And as I said, they are re-releasing this. I think he's really re-releasing these under his own game company. And he's kind of upgraded. I think he's making the maps and the counters bigger and stuff like that. But anyway, that's something I want to talk about is like gateway games. I mean, you want to find something that is relatively engaging, you know, whether it has a toy factor or the topic is catchy, or you know that they're going to be interested in the topic. It needs to be somewhat simple. It doesn't have to be, you know, stratego simple, but it needs to be, you know, simple enough that the rules aren't going to, you know, scare them away. You know, the complexity is not going to be like, I don't want to get into this. They told me there'd be no math, right? You want to have something that is engaging, relatively simple, and that is, you know, somewhat, in my opinion, somewhat compact. You don't want to have something that has like, you know, 5,000 counters and 4 map boards, and, you know, you don't want to start someone off with a monster game. At least that's my opinion. That's probably not going to go very far. Although my third game, I think my third war game I played was the Longest Day from Avalon Hill, but I was kind of hooked by then. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today is, you know, what are some good gateway games for wargaming? Love to know your thoughts. What do you think are some good ones? What have you used to bring other people into the hobby? There's a lot of good choices out there, and love to hear them.
On Castle Archon, more RPG score. The deck of many things, as you can see, is extremely excited. Hex to Hex has 4 videos. Chosen Reservoir, the finale. Also, The Wilderness, 5th of May 1864, an intro. And Falkirk, Part 1, and The Wilderness, again, the 15th of May 1864, Part 1, on Hex to Hex. Wise Guy History has 2 videos out. Legion of Honor, Overview. Dang, I wanted to play that game. Also, Scenario 2, the Turkish counterattack from Assault at Gallipoli, an introduction, and... Can I say? Stephen Dolges talks about GMT's 2022 sale. Check it out, 50% off on Stephen Dolges. Dragoon Commander, Armchair Dragoons Live Convention and Events for 2023. Clark Commando 1983. Hey, hasn't been around in a while. Operational Studies Group Napoleon's Wheel, and an unboxing of Napoleon's Wheel. Also, Operational Studies Group Napoleon's Wheel Library of Napoleon Games. Some thoughts on Clark Commando. Simple History has 2 videos. How do soldiers stay clean in battle? And Strange Military Deaths on Simple History for your quick shot of history. The Professor Riccardo Mazzini has 4 videos out. His Warlog talks about a most fearful sacrifice, an introduction, on the table, and a conclusion. All that in Italian, but an English overview of those 3 videos on Riccardo Mazzini's Warlog. Tabletop Feng Shui on Hexes and Soldiers. So, Feng Shui says, huh? Oh, look at that. We can see some of his games that he's got. He's got the Tiger Tank. Ooh, ain't nothing Feng Shui about that there, AJ Toynbee. On Napoleon's Triumph, 1 video out, and it is the Battle of Gulliford Courthouse. This is a game, I think, by Mark Miklos, published by GMT. Mauro Faina has 4 videos out of episodes 21 through 22, 21 and 22 of Il Giannizzero Nero. Talks about Alalia, and Almoravid setup. I don't know what Alalia is. Alalia. On Mauro Faina. Games from the Front. It's been a while Old School Essentials World Building Exercise Part 3 from Advanced Fantasy Player Tome. I don't know what that is, but looks like fun. 18 minutes of fun there. And the man famously known as Calandale has 2 videos out. Time of Wars Parts 2 and 3. The Gentleman of the Player's Aid, 4 videos. War Movies, Monthly Debrief, Season 2, Episode 10. Also, D-Day, Stephen E. Ambrose from Cover to Cover, The Player's Aid. And Unboxing, St. Lo from WDG. WDG? And Alexander reviews Mrs. Thatcher's War from White Dog Games. All that on the Player's Aid. And on the GIMPY Gamer, 4 videos out. Reality Shift Deluxe, Core Space Trading Post 5, also American Tank Ace Review Through Part 2, and War in the East 2, Steel Inferno Preview. Cue the music. Another week, another show. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and support this channel on my Patreon page. It helps with getting all this new equipment that I got, and I thank my supporters very much because I could keep doing this show with your support. Thank you very much. This has been a fun show. As always, I enjoy having a fun show. I enjoy having a show, having fun, and having a Guinness on November 11th, Remembrance Day. They fought for us. On that note, have a good weekend. Be nice. I work this weekend. I'm gonna have fun at work. Yeah, I'm a glorified dishwasher, but I have fun because if we didn't have fun at work, we'd go crazy. So I'm around these crazy gals, and they're nuts, and they're rough and tough too, man. And there's one girl, bloody hell, she's strong like hell. Unbelievable. Have a good weekend. Be nice.